Hi! Thanks for joining
Hello.
me today. It's nice to see you there. Um, so, you both are the students from the University of Brighton, and you are working on a project, and your project will be exhibited as part of Artist Open House. So we want to kind of have a little chat and just know about you and your project. So I'm going to straight away start with the question. Can you tell us about the current work you are making for the Artist Open House Festival?
Yeah. Okay. So the work I'm making at the moment is it's a sculpture which reflects actually what lockdown is for a lot of people. So I actually made it's like a blanket with a figure inside in a specific position, just to reflect on the mental and physical, just feelings of how lockdown has been for a lot of people, using a material that I actually gathered over being in quarantine from food deliveries. So yeah.
Yep. What I'm doing is also lockdown art. It's a piece composed of two different sculptures, but they hopefully will interlock between them. It's called Stand Still, and they're fully body sculptures made out of sellotape with a base of plaster, and the plaster symbolizes how grounded we are to the place. The figures also symbolize how enclosed we are and we were feeling during the first lockdown, not just physically but also mentally, and how we were trying to reach each other, but we had that impossibility of doing it because we were grounded in the place we were. So yeah, that's my piece.
Very exciting. So let's talk about the theme behind the exhibition, We, You, Me, and how the four of you came to be collaborating on this project.
Well, the main theme, we didn't talk about that before, but the four of us are talking about relationships and how we feel about those relationships, even though it's slightly different how we represent those feelings or those relationships, but it's a point in common for the four of us. This exhibition comes from last year Oxy exhibition that we made on February. It was our second year exhibition, part of Fine Art Sculpture by the University of Brighton, and we won a bursary from the hand of Artist Open Houses and Huntington Lane Development. Well, the four of us, we were part of the curation team, Jack and myself, and the publicity team with Brad and Libby, and we got really good feedbacks, and we were collaborating very well between the four of us. So yeah, we have the exhibition now coming.
Yeah, we definitely found a group that worked really well together, and just seeing what it's like to make an exhibition with such a large group in second year, and finding those people to really work with in further exhibitions is just really interesting to see the skills that each people have, and what each person's better at, and that's why we did the publicity. Me and Brad and Ainoa and Jack did the what did you do? You did the
curation.
That's it, curation. And yeah, so it was just a great team, and we worked really well together within just the four of us. So yeah.
It's always nice to hear these natural collaborations, isn't it? Sometimes energies just fits well, and then you just take it from there. So you also had a tutorial with David Shrigley. How it has helped you and changed the way you think about your work and the way you work?
I think it's really interesting talking to someone with such a big name as an artist anyway, and just getting their feedback from looking at your work is just a great another view. But personally with me, I do two different kind of types of work. I have a lot of more conceptual sculptures, which is what I work mainly at uni, Whereas I also have I found a pattern in like doing stuff craft-like. So I've started doing like rug punching and a bit more illustrative work. And he really helped me to understand that you don't always have to find a link in between the two things that you do. And you can just love doing both of them separately, or you can do it together. So yeah.
What was very interesting for me during this tutorial is when we had this tutorial, I was feeling quite exhausted by making the sculptures because they're much bigger than I expected, and it's taking much more workload than I thought in the beginning. And he reminded me that it's very important to remember what's exciting about the work for us, because sometimes we can get so engaged and distracted on producing a piece of art for an exhibition. But that exhibition, it needs to be on the desire of our own excitement. And I think that was very good for me. And I think I needed to hear that to become in love again with my sculptures that I was producing at the moment. It sounds so easy to think, oh yeah, you have to like what you're doing, but sometimes you just need that click and say, yeah, I really need to gain that love again. And that need to be responding to what I like. Yeah, that's.
That's great. So I think since you started the project, you know, the world changed a lot. And how has this impacted your exhibition and your work in general?
Well, we got the bursary on February, so all this was already starting. Well, but the exhibition has changed a lot since then, because we had to respond very quickly to some moments. We had to change the venue. Yeah, it's been postponed a couple of times, and we have to be quite quickly thinking and responding. But me personally, my personal work, it hasn't changed. I still work on the 3 dimensions, even though I'm starting to think about some detail pieces, but just as another part of my work, not as a change of it, just an expansion.
Yeah, I think with what's going on at the moment, obviously, like what Ainoa was saying about having to quick think and stuff like that, that quick thinking changed my piece completely. So obviously through lockdown, I do a lot of work to do with like the home and just your like normal surroundings that you do day to day. And my home changed, so everything that I was doing at home and feeling secure in completely changed, and a lot of my work is super personal. So because my life kind of had a shift, my work completely shifted to create the work that I'm doing about lockdowns. So yeah.
Well, do you feel optimistic for the future?
I feel like you should always have some sort of optimism in life, no matter what. It sounds cliche, but no matter what comes your way. I think it's hard to, because the creative industry has been completely hit hard. So I do feel optimistic in some ways, but I think there's a really difficult way to find, especially with 3D work and sculptures, your whole point in making them is someone seeing them 3D and seeing them in person, and trying to find a way to work around that and to change the way you work to still get that audience response and still get that connection is something that we'll all have to learn, which can be exciting, but it's also quite scary as well.
Yeah, I agree with Livy. I think this is a learning curve. We've had so much pressure during this time, and well, everybody. Yeah, I think we have to be optimistic and try to adapt ourselves to what's happening, not to change ourselves, but adapt and keep going. It's just like Doris, keep swimming, keep swimming.